Okay.
We're on all channels, right?
We're on
Nice.
all channels. All channels. We're live everywhere. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, y'all. How's everyone doing today? We are live on Kiltz Mighty Tribe on Instagram and on YouTube, Facebook. We have Tom Frugal Prepper here today to share his energy on keto, carnivore, life, and anything else we want to talk about, right, Tom?
Guns.
Yeah,
Tom has a nice set of guns.
yeah. I'm an avid shooter and reloader, but I just shoot paper at the range.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. We're here to ask questions, comment, share all these things, where you live in this world, where you traveling to or from, and what is your passion, and what got you into this keto carnivore world and podcasting world, Tom?
Well, so 7 years ago, I had been diabetic for a little over 2 decades. The first part of that was pretty well controlled with pills, with insulin, with diet. But then the last few years, it just got out of control. I was on over 300 units of insulin a day. I was taking Humulin U500 and Novolog. And I was on all kinds of pills. I was pushing 500 pounds.
Woo-hoo.
And I just put on like 20 pounds every 3 months when I went back to see the doctor. I had all kinds of ologists. I needed a knee replacement. They wouldn't do it because I had diabetic leg ulcers that wouldn't heal. I had the beginning of diabetic retinopathy. I had gout in my feet. I had a partially torn rotator cuff in my shoulder. And I watched a Dr. Ken Berry video, and I decided I was going to go keto. I lost 100 pounds in like 6 or 8 months, really fast. And I was doing a lot of veggies on my original keto. Then my keto got dirtier, and I started having keto cupcakes and keto brownies, all this keto stuff at the store. And the weight loss stopped, and my blood sugars started to go back up. I was off the insulin by that point. And so then I went carnivore for about 8 months, just pure carnivore, mostly beef. I had a few onions and a few mushrooms. And then I had a stroke.
Whoa.
And at that point I was getting close to 200 pounds of weight loss. I had a stroke. It was a double stroke. It was in my midbrain and my cerebellum. They got the clot buster on board pretty quick. I spent 3 days in the intensive care unit, did 3 months of physical rehabilitation to learn how to walk again. I was also blind. I was seeing everything double and fuzzy, but my vision did come back. And 3 months later, I was driving. I was back to work. They did the MRI and showed that I had 5 to 6 previous strokes that I didn't know about. And so my blood pressure was really high. That was the one thing that just would not heal. It was running 160s, 170s after the weight loss and the carnivore. But the day I had my stroke, they took my blood pressure in the ambulance. It was 310 systolic. So that's kind of what I've been fighting with. I went a little more keto after my stroke because the blood pressure medicines they had me on were just constipating the heck out of me. And I needed to go more often. It was the problem. I only go 2 or 3 days on pure carnivore, and that medicine would just suck it dry, So I started eating salad, but my salads had lots of meat. I made my own salad dressing from avocado oil, tried to do it as healthy as possible. But they found the right blood pressure medication. My blood pressure is actually partially pulmonary. So I started taking the pulmonary hypertension medication, and it allows the other ones to work. So I'm down from 9 to 4 blood pressure medications a day, and I normally stay in the 140s. If it gets too much lower than the 140s on medications, the muscles in my legs start breaking down and pinching the sciatic nerve. I call it my psychotic nerve. And it gets so bad that I can't even walk or drive. Right? All I can do is lay down and be in pain. And so what I've found is the cure for that, though, is naturally home fermented yogurt that I make myself from 6 bacteria. I have a bowl of yogurt in the morning, and then my sciatic pain goes away for 4 or 5 hours. I have another bowl at lunch, and it goes away. And so today I'm pretty much carnivore most meals, but I do occasionally have fermented vegetables. I make my own sauerkraut. I ferment my own radishes with garlic. I ferment garlic and onions. I ferment carrots. Um, and I eat some stuff out of my garden that I grow myself. I'm not a heavy tomato eater, but I do eat some tomato stuff. But mostly it's like spaghetti squash. I love that, and I make meatballs, and I make an Alfredo cheese sauce. So just really clean eating. And in I guess in this whole process, I was going blind from macular edema and macular degeneration. And I had to get expensive $2,000 eye shots in every other eye every month. And I was on these vitamins called A-Reds or something. And I saw Dr. Lisa Weideman did a video with Ken Berry. And she was talking about his seed oils. And it dawned on me when I went dirty keto, I started eating mayonnaise like it was going out of style. I'd eat 4 or 5 jars in a week, just making chicken salad, tuna salad, because it was low carb. And that stuff is full of seed oils. So when I went carnivore and today I cut out all seed oils. I don't eat anything if there's any chance there's any seed oil in it. I don't eat out. I don't, I eat all my own food, make all my own food. And my macular edema has gone away. I have no swelling in my retinas. I still have some bad spots in my retinas where they had to burn them with lasers to stop the bleeding. And they hit my macula, so I have a dark fuzzy spot in one eye from the lasers, but my vision is stabilized. I'm not going to go blind one day. So I think that seed oils are a big part of the problem with my metabolism, with my insulin resistance, or, lack of being able to use insulin properly, I could say.
Well, here's my theory on insulin. I don't know if you've heard it. Insulin has one job: make fat.
Yeah.
That's it. And I personally think insulin resistance is bogus. We're making a complicated story out of simplicity. You and I cannot live without insulin, right?
Right.
But they've told us it's very complicated, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with insulin because the majority of us are getting fat, right?
Right.
And I'm wondering if fat is like the only fuel for the human body. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Sugar is not the fuel for the body. And I wanted to bring something up to all those watching and listening. And ultimately, plants are the secret killer. And even small amounts of plants could be the cause of all disease. What are your thoughts on that, Tom?
Well, I think insulin, every cell in the body reacts to insulin. Your muscles take insulin in to store, use that energy.
No way. I think that's the lie. What if the science we've all been taught is a lie? That's what I'm wondering. What do you? Again, we're listening to them tell us one thing, but this is really crazy though. But how? So, what does carnivore do for you, Tom? Have you noticed when you go strict carnivore, like all this yickety yak kind of like clears up?
Yeah, so I would say a lot of people say go pure carnivore and then add things back in and see if it affects you in a negative way, and then don't do that. I kind of take a different approach. When I add something in, it needs to make me feel better, or I don't do it, right? So I know that I was a severe diabetic. But I know today, from eating the fermented yogurt and the fermented veggies, that's really helped my gut a lot. And I know today I can. So I make sourdough bread for my family because they like bread and it's better than Wonder Bread and they're not overweight or obese or anything. But, I was telling Aaliyah before the show, I had to go out and shovel my driveway. It took like an hour and a half one morning to get to work. And I was running late and I didn't have time to make eggs. I popped 2 pieces of toast in the toaster and I ate them on the way to work. And that day I skipped lunch. I didn't eat till I came home at 7. I didn't get hungry. Sure, I dropped out of ketosis. You can tell when you're not running on ketones and you're running on glucose. But I drop right back into ketosis. I don't get that hangry feeling. It's just like my insulin goes up a little bit. I drop right back into ketosis and I start burning the fat. And so, that's a rare thing that I have that. But I've noticed that I can occasionally have some carbohydrates, but it's a long fermented sourdough bread and it's made from organic flour, not the Roundup flour. I think Roundup and seed oils are a big part of this problem. Seed oils are poisoning the cells. I think the fat cells, the belly cells, are the last ones to really get poisoned with the seed oils and not be able to store the fat. That's why you see so many people with the big pot bellies, right? And once you get those seed oils out, I think I look at like the last 10,000 years we've fermented yogurt. The last 4,000 years we've been fermenting vegetables. We've had bread, we've had flour, we've made, we've done that for thousands of years. We haven't had an obesity and cancer and diabetes epidemic except for the last 100 years, right? What's the difference?
Well, I would my opinion, and someone commented on Instagram, my book doesn't have all the quotes, never quotes. I'm giving you my opinion in all of this.
Yeah.
Plants are poisonous, period. Can you eat small amounts infrequently? Sure. I even think fermented plants are even poisonous. We don't require them, and they may be part of the thing that takes us down. You had a stroke. Diabetes is a deadly disease. My sister died of it at 52. I'm just wondering if it makes us feel good, maybe the feel good stuff. I mean, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine make us feel good, don't they?
Yeah.
Are they good for us?
Oh no.
And I agree with you. I mean, I'll do a sourdough from time to time with a lot of butter, small amounts infrequently, because I'm a great minimizer. But I think that like the plants, and I show these books. We're going to have Noah Whiteman on coming up
next month, March 7th.
March. I mean, and I was listening to. Oh my God! Hey, I sent you a text message on the book that I recommended. But
I will find her.
And ultimately, no organism wants to be eaten, and plants can't run and hide, but they can show us their colors that might say stay away, but we've been brainwashed to say they're okay. And I really believe, and this is a good point on your, like, glucose is never the energy for the body. It's never the energy. And that's the story that I'm sticking with, because we can go weeks and months without food if you're fat enough, right?
Oh yeah.
And so maybe we just want to kind of fit in with sort of this. I don't know. I love the keto world, but keto kicked my ass. And I did it for a short time. And when I'm on Carnivore, bam. And I have pictures of my friends that died healthy. I believe their healthy death was secondary to plants.
Yeah.
Is it possible, if it makes us feel good, maybe it's not good?
That's possible. I also think it depends on the type of plant. If you're eating green leafy spinach, they don't want their leaves eaten. They're filling those with toxins, right?
Yeah.
But if you're eating something like a spaghetti squash that's ripe and full of seeds, and it wants a mammal to come and take it and spread its seeds around, that's probably less toxic. I mean, that's the theory that I go with.
Right, right.
I try to eat
It's
things that
less
are ready to be
toxic,
eaten.
but it's not non-toxic.
Right.
And it breaks down to non-sweet sugars that might be the thing that's killing our nerves, our brains, our bowels, our eyes, and everything. And so that's my concern. Again, keto, a lot of people do. And I agree with you. Seed oils. I mean, where did we ever get seed oils 50,000 years ago?
Right.
Did we?
No.
We didn't. We didn't. Do we have any cues coming up, by the way?
We do. Lewis has a question. Robert Kiltz MD, is there such a thing as too much of a good thing re-insulin?
Well, insulin's job is to make fat in the liver. If you're working to be hyperphagic in the summer, fall to get fat for the winter, you better have a lot of shit ass insulin around. And so the problem is, from the day we're born to the day we die, our bellies are full of mostly plant protein, low fat. And those two things, amino acids and sugars, stimulate insulin out of the pancreas to go to the liver. And in the liver, its job is to make fat and to make you fat. So insulin's never the problem. It's always a hyperphagic plant protein, low fat diet. And that's our biggest problem. I'm just wondering, Tom, how many meals a day do you usually consume?
A lot of times two, sometimes just one if I'm busy.
And what are your thoughts on fasting? Any practices of fasting?
I've fasted for like 7 days. It normally is 3-day fast. The longest fast I ever had was before I ever started keto. When I first got diagnosed as diabetic, I broke up with a girlfriend and I went through a 6-week fast and I lost 85 pounds.
Woo!
But that all came back on as soon as I started eating. So
well, and because ultimately, does the human body want to be skinny or fat?
I think it wants to be skinny. Yeah.
No, it does not. It wants to be fat.
Well,
Because let's say you and I were out in Ohio right now, and there was no shelter, there was no supermarkets, there were no farmers and ranchers. How easy would it be to find food today?
oh, it'd be pretty hard. I mean,
It'd be hard.
Go
And
shoot a deer.
so I lose about a pound a day when I don't eat food. So in essence, if you're doing like hunting all day and working and walking and out, you better be fat, right?
Right, but there's also, you have to run from predators. You have to be able to climb trees, right? You have to.
Okay, so I'll give you 2 pounds a day, maybe. I mean, I don't know anyone. I don't know people losing 2 to 3 pounds a day, but I really believe that there's a simplicity to this story that the plants are we're able to consume them. I agree. But do you think we ate them with seed oils or with raw animal fat?
Oh, it was raw animal fat. That's all I eat today. So, you know.
And so are we, do you think, I mean, where do you think, how did we get to where we're at, Tom?
I think it's basically they came out with seed oils in the earlier part of the 1900s. Then they learned to hydrogenate the seed oils. Then they started making everything out of seed oils. Even, you know, my son wanted some potato chips the other day. I had to look and look and look to find some that were made with avocado oil or peanut oil versus vegetable oil, right? And I had to pay $5 for this little bag of chips made with avocado oil. It's just like everything. Even like Mike Cells used to advertise, we're made with peanut oil. They're not. They're made with soybean oil. Everything in the store has soybean oils, high fructose corn syrup, monosodium glutamate, and just all kinds of food colorings, things to protect the flavor, things to do this. You know, they just have ingredient lists this long, and all those chemicals are doing bad things to us. I know that now because I feel great. I used to be diabetic and barely be able to get to the coffee pot in the morning and barely be able to walk into work. And now I'm up out of bed. I'm going, and when it's warmer weather, I go for a walk a couple times around the block. On the weekends, I'll walk 5-10 miles. And then I'm fixing cars, and then I don't even have a television anymore. So there's something to eating all that refined crap. And I would say we don't need vegetables. I mean, I proved that for 8 months. I ate nothing but meat. And yeah, I had a stroke, but I've also had a complete CTA scan. I have 0 blockages in any of my arteries. I had ultrasounds of my neck. I had stress tests. I had nuclear scans of my kidneys. I was in the CAT scan machine so many times I don't even remember. And everything looks good. So they said that like my upper abdomen was grossly unremarkable when they did my CTA scan, which means it's good.
How good is medicine in predicting our ability to live for another year?
Oh, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
Doctors don't heal you. They just prescribe some medications, right? So you're going and eating the big food from the grocery store and making the grocery store and big food rich. Then you go to the doctors, and the doctors are kind of in a catch-22 between big food and big pharma. They write you some prescriptions. You pay the doctors some money. They give you some prescriptions so you can go back and eat the big food some more. And nobody's like, I'm on 12 prescriptions. I'm from the doctor. I feel great. They all feel like crap every single day. Everything always hurts. And it's not that you need, our society is so big on, I'm just going to throw some money at this and fix it and go take a pill. I'm going to go see the doctor. But what you need to do is cut out the crap food.
Well, are fruits and vegetables healthy for us?
Fruit, not so much. Vegetables, lower carb, lower toxin vegetables. I like them. They're fermented.
But they may be toxic
for me.
But they may be toxic for us.
They may have some toxins in them, but there's a berry in Australia or whatever that only one bird can eat, and it's poisonous to every other animal on earth, but that bird can eat it, and that does eat it all the time. So who's to say that our bodies aren't designed to handle those toxins from that very small percentage of plants that we do eat? But things like wheat that's been crossbred and hybridized and GMO'd to resist Roundup, no, we're not supposed to eat that. Things like tomatoes are kind of questionable. I don't have a problem with a few tomatoes from my garden, but I can't buy them at the store. They give me all kinds of issues and inflammation.
Well, I see. This is where I differ, because I've been there, and I can tell you that the long-term straight carnivore, the lion's way, is like the kick-ass way, because it's the silent, slow inflammation that's our killer. Someone gets diagnosed with cancer or other diseases, which we go like, oh, we don't know why. It's like that stroke. You were carnivore for how long before you had that stroke?
About 8 months.
Right. But for how many years were you not carnivore?
Oh, yeah. It's like my whole life. Yeah.
Right. So carnivore doesn't necessarily repair the damage right away. And it may be that we're not eating fatty raw enough meat also, but I think that's one of the biggest problems is that we're dancing, right? We're dancing around some ideas that, make it easy and hardship, struggles. That's so important for us in life. Without them, we wouldn't be where we're at. I mean, I'll be 70 next year. And do I ever eat a cookie, cake, or ice cream? Sure I do. Do I ever eat salad, asparagus, broccoli? No. No.
Yeah.
No. Because I'll even bet that, and you're right, so sourdough, I'll bet, is less toxic than asparagus, carrots. And I think I was watching Candy on Primal Bod. She's awesome rock star talking about carrots. And miscarriages and abortions are medicinal plants, and the carrot was one of them.
Oh, wow.
And just because you ferment something doesn't mean it makes it non-toxic. It may make it less toxic. And so that's why I just want us all to be very cautious, because there's a journal called the United States Department of Agriculture Journal on Plant Poisoning. All right. And it basically has a list of all the plants that harm the herbivores. Okay. So now they're made to eat the plants, but like you said, like the koala bear and the panda bear.
Eucalyptus.
What's that?
They can only eat eucalyptus, the koala.
Eucalyptus and bamboo.
Oh, okay. Just
Right?
those two. Yeah.
One gets different. That's what their main source of food is. They don't venture to eat a bunch of colors or different variety. And so my concern is for those listening, watching, that yes, keto's okay. You may feel better, but carnivore is the rock star way of going. And fasting like Tom does, I think is really important. Our good friend Sean O'Mara does some fermented vegetables, which I do agree make them less toxic. But do you think we really have a requirement to eat a vegetable?
I don't know. I think the vegetables have some properties. For instance, I had lead poisoning after I was discovered after I had my stroke, because I reload so much ammunition and shoot indoors. And they were thinking that was the cause of my high blood pressure, but it turns out it wasn't. But they wanted to put me on. I went to see some kind of hematologist, and he wanted to do some treatment. And I did some reading that garlic is really good for lead poisoning. So I upped my garlic like crazy. And in about 6 months, my levels came way down to where they're not perfect, but they're not in like a really dangerous range.
Well, that's interesting. And it's kind of garlic. I gave up. I'm Italian. I grew up, with all this stuff. But I gave it up, gave up coffee, gave up alcohol, never felt better in my life. I'm just once again concerned. Like, would you put garlic in your eyes?
No.
And so I wonder, no, this is good. So I wonder if the garlic, we don't feel it, but it's doing its damage on a microscopic molecular level that you and I don't understand. You're right. I mean, people are doing marijuana for pain symptoms, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would we say that marijuana is good for us?
No.
And so is alcohol good for us?
No, but I've had 3 beers in like the last 12 years. So,
but I mean, boy, Tom, deadly. But small amounts infrequently are likely not our problem, but small amounts frequently or large amounts at one time may be deadly. And that maybe that's part of our problem. It's we're led down the primrose path of, because we want to fit in, don't we? And a Mediterranean, I mean, essentially keto is kind of Mediterranean-y. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do we got? What cues are coming up here for Tom and Kiltz and
there's a Kiltz cue, and then I have a Tom question.
Okay, cool.
Carnivore can help. Sorry, I'm already asking. Mike Rodriguez, can carnivore help with enlarged prostate inflammation, Dr. K?
Well, absolutely. And getting back to the goitrogens, those foods, I thought I had it here somewhere. The foods that actually damage the thyroid gland also damage what? The prostate. They're called goitrogens. And let me see if I can get this here for us to see real quick. I mean, basically, we're all kind of lied to. And I think there was someone here talking about all these goitrogenic foods. And the fact that let me get here, hold on. Let's see here. Can we see that these are the goitrogenic foods which fall in the ketogenic food realm, right? And I believe a lot of these substances simply get into every single cell of our body, including our eyes, our brains, our skin, and cause the symptoms that we're all going to the doctor for, or taking our over-the-counter stuff, when we least expect it. It causes stroke, sudden death, cancer. How many people have you heard died of unknown causes? Young.
A lot of people.
lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I just, I and there's a longer list than that, by the way, on the goitrogen. So I had prostatic hypertrophy. I couldn't pee. And when I went carnivore, suddenly I could pee again.
Wow. That must suck not being able to pee. I want to know, Tom, so are you off all of your insulin?
Yeah, I'm on no diabetic medications. The only thing I'm on now is blood pressure. My last A1C was a 5.3.
Wow.
And it usually ranges between like 5.2 and 5.5 when they take it. And let's see, my LDL last time was 115. My HDL was 86, and my triglycerides were 43. So, and I don't take a statin, even though all the doctors try to tell me that's why you had a stroke. You need to be on a statin. I just don't do statins.
I remember once you were telling me that your vegan cardiologist said he couldn't blame carnivore, right?
Yeah, I mean, I went to see my vegan cardiologist, and he started asking me what kind of food I ate, and that's really an unusual question for a doctor to ask. They usually don't ask that. And I was like, well, this morning I had a pound of bacon, about half dozen eggs, and he's like, oh, he wanted to just skip straight to the thing where they stick a probe up your leg vein and they can go in and put stents in, because he was so sure I had blockages. But he went ahead and scheduled me for the stress test, the ultrasound, the nuclear test, and then a CTA scan. And then, finally I came back from my last appointment with him, and he's like, yeah, you're okay. I'm like, I'm okay, but I eat a pound of bacon. How can I be okay? And he didn't really want to talk about it, but I found another cardiologist in the next town over he's more keto, but he's okay with carnivore too, right? As long as your numbers look good. And he said with my ratios, with my HDL being so high, it used to be really low when I was diabetic. And with my triglycerides being low, that little bit of HDL over 100 isn't hurting me at all. And that, all my scans show that everything's clear. I just have a slightly enlarged left side of my heart from the years and years of hypertension. But it's very minor. And so, I'm just hoping that the hypertension goes away eventually. But I spent 3 decades as a smoker. I had my last cigarette the day I had my stroke while I was sitting in my car waiting on the ambulance. So, yeah, I don't know if the blood pressure is ever going to go away. I take the medications; they have serious side effects, but I'm trying to find the right medications and balance out how much they want to give me versus how much I can tolerate.
Hypertension is a sign of systemic inflammation.
Yeah.
And how much ricin can kill someone? How much cyanide could kill someone? How much of a peanut can kill someone? So I believe the reactive damage to the glycocalyx is the cause of hypertension, and small amounts of sugars. And by the way, and there was a comment here on ribeyes and insulin. I'm not sure if it was on Kiltz Mighty Tribe or here.
Oh, I didn't see it over here.
Eat like a cowgirl. Ribeyes will raise the diabetic's insulin too. Okay, what is the function of insulin? to make fat out of amino acids and sugars. Okay. A ribeye is full of what? Protein.
Fat, protein.
Which breaks down to
amino acids.
Amino acids. That's
Okay.
right. So if you cook a steak and chop, just grind it all up, cook it, drain the fat, right, or the liquid. That's mostly protein and some sugars. And so insulin's job is to go up in order to do what? Make fat in the liver.
Yeah.
Make fat in the liver.
Yeah.
That's its job. So this idea that you eat steak, you're still going to get sugars and amino acids. So I think that's something that that I think is better. Making sure you're recognizing, again, insulin is not the enemy. Plants are. I think that's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I think this person say, does Tom use salt? Do you use salt? This is Paul, unless there was a conversation.
Yeah, I usually use Redmond salt, and I eat a lot of salt. And for my blood pressure in the past, they've told me to avoid salt. I actually avoided eating salt so much that I was falling over at work when I was like walking down the hallway. I worked at a hospital at the time. They took me to the ER. My heart was acting all weird and skipping beats and stuff. And they said, your sodium's really low, but my blood pressure was still really high. So the salt doesn't make a difference for my hypertension at all if I eat it or not.
And I just go back to those silent killers are plants. The healthy diet, right? The propaganda that plants are good, but ultimately, and I just, these are just a few of the books of the real killers and the real predators, because they've evolved way longer than us. They're smarter than us. I mean, what organism would get on a rocket ship and go to Mars?
Elon Musk.
Right?
Not I. I'm not doing that Mars trip. Working on me. I'll read this comment. Even though I'm carnivore, after years of doctors telling us fat meat will kill you, it's hard to silence those voices in my head. Dr. Barry calls that the echo of the lie. I do have arguments with myself. Thankfully, carny me usually wins. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really what we're saying here, and Tom certainly lost a ton of weight, reduced a lot of his diseases, and getting over that next level. But is it true that we choose to live with some of our issues because the joy of eating and doing certain things has more clout than the risks of one thing over another? My grandmother lived 104, my parents 94. And yes, I do eat some ice cream from time to time, but small amounts infrequently, and always a lot of fat, because I make it the best. And do you think maybe in a sense it's just easier?
I think when you're really addicted to the ultra refined carbohydrates, and you're kind of naturally addicted, your body's kind of geared towards eating more things that will make you fat and sick, and they trick you into putting that stuff in the food. So I don't really want to say it's an addiction. It's kind of like a natural thing. You have to eat, but a lot of people are just like, they've showed up on my posts and stuff and said, frankly, what you eat looks really boring. Right. And it's like, it's supposed to be boring. You're supposed to sit down and eat for 5 minutes, then go back to work. Like, food isn't important. When I go out to eat with my family at the Olive Garden, who uses seed oil, so I don't eat there, I'm like, I already ate today. I'm just here to drink some water and talk to my family. It's kind of like, they're like, what? You're not eating? Oh, do you want some of this? Do you want some of this? Oh, I have this fried stuff. Do you want some? Do you want to try that? And it's like, people are so food centric, and it comes from that addiction. Once you are not addicted to the food anymore, once you're like, I'm hungry, but I'm busy, I'll eat later, you're not like totally centered around food. Everybody at work is, having their Cheerios for breakfast, then they're looking for a bagel for a snack, then they're hitting the vending machine before lunch, then they're arguing about where they're going to go to lunch, and then it's always food, 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 food. And I'm like, I don't care about food. I have work to do. I already ate some breakfast, and I think that people are really food centered, and it's hard to make them understand that you can give up your addiction to food and live life.
Well, I agree with you, Tom. And ultimately, I mean, we're geared to eat and get fat for the famine, for the migration, hibernation, gestation, and all those other things. And so ultimately, the plants that we've evolved eating are less toxic. They're not non-toxic. That's the critical part to the story. We're not addicted to food. We naturally, our brain instinctually wants to eat and get fat. Yeah. And so again, being skinny makes no sense in the evolutionary mindset. And so, we make a big story out of this, but ultimately we don't know. We haven't proven that carnivore is going to live longer. But I could tell you on carnivore, and I love boring, by the way, it's the best thing. But, you're right. We've made food entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, and so many people are focused on living longer. But, if I lived longer as a type 2 diabetic on insulin, I wouldn't have had a life. I would have sat in my house bored, unable to do anything. So it's about the quality of life that I have right now. Right. And, death is a part of life. I'm willing to accept death. I could have a stroke and die tomorrow. Yeah. But today I got to do something, today, for instance, during the summer, I'm riding roller coasters. I love roller coasters, and I got to have fun and walk around the amusement park. I can fit on the roller coasters now. I can ride them with my family. I can have fun, and tomorrow I might die. I might get in a car accident and die.
Might get hit by a bus.
Focused on living longer.
A carnivore crowd made a comment. Fairly strict carnivore for over 1 year now. Every time I slip, a few days of brain fog. Wifey ate a carrot slice today, and her mouth started to burn. It was a small slice of a carrot. And I think that we are not allergic to ribeye steak. We're allergic to plants, and ultimately, if we cannot hunt and find and eat the fatty meat, well, you don't want to starve. We learned how to prepare them via cooking, fermenting, soaking, and processing the plants in order to make them less toxic, more tolerable. We added seasoning and spices, all those sort of things. But ultimately, truly, I believe that the silent killer is going to be that predator plant, which are live organisms that are way smarter than you and I. They know how to kill us.
Yeah.
So we have two more questions. Miss Laugh a Lot. When I was diagnosed as type 2 1.5 years ago, why didn't I not want me on insulin? I take it and was diagnosed as type 1 6 months later. I guess. Why didn't they want her on insulin? I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, a type 2, they don't want to give you insulin these days because it makes the disease worse over time. I mean, they try other medications first. They don't really tell you about a diet. When I found out I was diabetic, the doctor's like, you're diabetic. There's no cure for it. All we can do is try to manage it and hope something else kills you first. But then if you change in your type 1 and you're not making insulin, that's a whole different disease.
But ultimately, the plant toxins and the microbial toxins are likely the cause of type 1 that takes out the islet cells. And ultimately, many type 2s may transition into type 1, as Tom says. And again, insulin's a lifesaver. But if simply you ate fat, raw animal fat, you'd get all the minerals, vitamins, and the building blocks of the body, and that might be the thing. But again, the answer to why one person gets something, another doesn't, That's the mystery. We don't like it at all. Let's see. A real quick one from Kiltz Mighty Tribe, KMT. Sarah Spacklin says, sorry, Dr. Kiltz, but rock stars is not carnivore. It's heroin, Jack Daniels, and in most cases, French fries and pizza. It's a killer diet. Let us respect rock stars and stop using the word on just about everybody under the sun. So then I wrote, I said, how about superstars?
Superstars.
Superstars? What do you think about that?
Yeah, superstars.
Sarah Spacklin, I love it. And one more comment from Jonathan Fay. My blood pressure and SpO2 is perfect. My buddies in my morning jacuzzi ask me about my cholesterol. I say, great. A bit higher than government standards, same age and younger than they have pain, sleep issues, and one is diabetic, gets shots for pain in neck, shoulders, back, and type 2 diabetic severe neuropathy, and can't feel anything below his knees, and now is in extreme pain and can barely walk. Some same age as me, metformin, gabapentin, blood thinners, and statins. I sleep like a baby, swim, bike, dance, and no treatment, no drugs, no pain, great bowel movements, no alcohol, carnivore, strict 3 years. Kiltz knows the ways. Goitrogenic foods kill us. Plant seeds, grains, poison, microbiome, poison. We got to protect the glycocalyx. This is so simple. As Tom says, it's boring.
Yeah.
I don't think a steak is boring any day of the week, or eggs for that matter, or bacon.
Well, boring is the best way to the best in life, actually. Again, I was talking to Dave Mack last night, and we have Dave Mack coming on with us.
He's been on with us, but he will be happy to come on with us again.
He's done a morning live?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay,
he was our first person ever on our morning live.
Yeah. No, he's a rock star. We'll see him in Melbourne, Australia for the April 26th. So you got to be there. But let's see. What was I don't even remember what I was talking about. But carnivore is the game changer, and we're lied to by the modern profiteers. And I think this is what Tom's talking about. The profiteers that have been sharing with us a propagandized diet that makes us slaves, soldiers, peasants, prisoners, keeps us weak and meek, sick, and the lie of as Ken Berry says, the lie, right?
The lie.
The lie.
Tom, Kathy, non-toxic Mama Kathy Accurso would like to know what you feel ultimately healed your gut.
I think it just started with stop eating all the poisonous stuff when I felt better. So, I had severe heartburn for years and years. I used to go through a big bottle of Tums every month, right? And they tried to put me on omeprazole when they did an upper endoscopy and a colonoscopy because I have the familial polyposis gene. They've never found any, but they noticed my esophagus was burned from the stomach acid. As soon as I started on a keto diet, really, I haven't had a Tum in 7 years. So I think it was eliminating all the refined foods, but I can say that it seems like the fermented yogurt has really helped. I'm noticing my clothes are fitting looser, but I'm not losing the weight. So I think I'm getting stronger.
Muscle, you're building it.
Yeah. And I love sauerkraut. And I long ferment it for 30 days. That has a lot of bacteria in it too that help ferment the gut. I think a lot of us have taken antibiotics and we've killed off a lot of these natural gut bacteria is a big part of the problem. And I don't think you have to eat it all the time. I mean, I eat really small amounts, but just introducing some of those back because your stomach acid kills a lot of the bacteria. So very few of them get through. So, there's trillions of bacteria in my naturally fermented yogurt. When you take a probiotic pill, there might be hundreds of thousands or a million, but a lot of those die and don't get through to the small intestine and form that nice mucous membrane in the small intestine to stop the leaky gut. So, I think the main thing was just cutting out the crap food, though.
And the microbiome, they want to kill us. Those microbes are not our friends, in my opinion. And I was listening to Ken Berry with, I think, Anthony Chafee somewhere in the world. And, this idea that would we add a bunch more microbes to our skin, lather us up with all this microbes, when in fact, they too want to thrive and survive and take us down. And so I think the microbiome is BS. We just made another. Let's give people more to sell yogurts and to sell probiotics. That's what I think about that science.
I think also an important part of the microbiome is your teeth, right? So you're brushing with fluoridated toothpaste and using scope and killing all those bacteria that naturally exist in your mouth and help feed the gut microbiome. So, I don't tell too many people this because they think it's gross, but I haven't brushed my teeth in 3 years. And I don't get plaque. I don't get tartar. I go to the dentist and he says, wow, your gum disease is completely reversed. Your gums look great. Your teeth look great. I just need to do a little bit of a cleaning. I don't take the fluoride. And they used to just scrape with picks till things were bleeding, and they had to fill 2 cavities and do a root canal. And today I just go to the dentist and he polishes them off a little bit and says, yeah, you're good to go. I don't get bad breath. I don't occasionally, if I'm going out with my wife to someplace fancy or something, I'll take a toothbrush and a little bit of baking soda and just brush them. But I don't use toothpaste and all that stuff anymore. So
let's see. Primal Fox Holistics. I'm a soil microscopist. This is Instagram. Soil microscopist. And I can assure you that plants are by far way smarter than we are. Literally, watch how they adapt to overcome everything that tries to become a predator. That is the truth. The plants are the ultimate predator, and we're the ultimate prey because we pray to them. Just think of all the celebrations over the plants and how we store their seeds. We change their DNA, and ultimately we're doing their work. They're directing the slave soldiers, peasants, and prisoners. Are they not?
Plants are smart. For instance, tomatoes have nicotine in them. A lot of people don't realize that, but they're attacked by tobacco hornworms, the same as tobacco is. And tomatoes actually have a little bit of nicotine in them to fight the tobacco hornworm. And if you have an infestation of tobacco hornworms, you don't want to eat those tomatoes because they'll be higher in nicotine and other toxins because they fought that tobacco hornworm.
Plants are toxic for humans. Small amounts may be the thing that takes us down because nobody's allergic to ribeye steak. Nobody.
Well, unless you've been bitten by that tick, that Texas virus or whatever.
Well, that's a story to scare people. That's all it is. It's
but they're allergic to the tick, not the meat. That's the problem.
That's true.
We don't know, but we don't know the truth in any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Again, true. We're basically listening to stories that are deadly, right? Superstars,
yes. We got a few more questions. First,
well, wait a minute. Bruce Springsteen is my mother's cousin's son. So, I still like rock stars.
I love that. My sister believed that we were related to Johnny Depp and did the research, and we are not. Okay, Lewis, has anyone joined Kiltz Mighty Tribe yet? No, what are you waiting for? And he put the link. Please join Kiltz Mighty Tribe. And Lewis is helping us in the tribe. He's volunteered. He's helping us moderate in the tribe.
More moderators, we need really what we're doing in this world here to heal our brothers and sisters like Tom is volunteers. And the plants send out volunteers all the time. They take a hit before the real things happen. But ultimately, this is the most important thing we're doing here, like Tom, in the keto carnivore world, faith and fasting, sharing the word in the way, how a carnivore lifestyle, a ketovore lifestyle, certainly is way better than the standards we've been lied to about in a healthy, plant-based, low animal fat diet. And Tom talked about seed oils and the toxins, and I appreciate his amazing energy. And Tom, what's your favorite thing to do? Is it shooting?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the favorite. Riding roller coasters has to be my favorite thing to do, but I enjoy fixing cars too. Like the really technical part of fixing cars, the electrical diagnosis and drivability concerns.
Yeah, I'm a grease monkey in my past. I used to take apart cars and rebuild them, and I had a 67 Oldsmobile 442, 66 Volkswagen Bug, a Mustang, a 67 Mustang. My brother and I completely rebuilt for my mom, and when we were teenagers, it was just like I mean, we're meant, maybe our problem, we're watching other people do things, and what you're sharing with us is that you're doing things.
Yeah. I'm no longer sitting in my house taking my blood sugar, worrying about how much insulin I'm going to take and how many carbs I'm going to have. I just go out and live life.
I love it. I love it living life. Tom, I always think when you start talking about this, I'm going to come and visit you and we'll go to Six Flags because I haven't been on a roller coaster since I was 15.
Well, if you come towards Ohio, we can do Kings Island.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I am. I'm not sure if I am, but I don't know if I'm going to Tennessee next month. But Dr. Kiltz is.
We need to get Primal Fox Holistics, who's a soil microscopist, and my good friend Mark McKinley from Bighorn Mountain Farms says it's all about the soil.
Oh wow!
And ultimately, the soil is like the lipid bilayer, which also supports the protein particles and the glycocalyx, right? The glycocalyx, critical. Without the glycocalyx, it would not help keep those microbes at bay. And the glycocalyx is what protects the gut lining and every lining of every cell of our body. So that's important. But Primal Fox Holistics on Instagram. Be interesting to talk about soil. Mark McKinley in the house. Bighorn Mountain Farms. Check out our meat discounts, and we're really working with Mark and sharing Wyoming Wagyu. Is there a Wyoming meetup this year?
There is. It's July 4th and 5th in Bozeman, Montana.
No, that's not the beef roundup. When's the
beef roundup? It's also in August. Give me 1 second. Beef roundup, August 22nd and 23rd, Wyoming. 22nd and 23rd. People are asking if I will be in Tennessee. I do not know if I will be in Tennessee, but someone will be in Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll be there. May be there.
I might be there, and Nate will be there also, most likely. I don't know if Nate's listening right now, but I just told him he'll be there.
And maybe we'll see Tom. We'll get to see
Tom.
Tom.
That'd be awesome. If I go to Tennessee, let's go on a roller coaster. I don't know how to predict the time work, but
yeah.
Oh, okay, good. We have so many questions left. Let's see. I want to just answer this. I want to answer this one. If you drink Element, it has maltodextrin in it, so you have to get the Element without the flavors. Get the Element without the flavors, but rather get Dr. Kiltz's electrolytes. But do we need to eat? Do we need electrolytes? That's the question. Dr. Kiltz, do we need electrolytes?
Well, I drink mineral water. I eat fatty meat. I do some organ meat, or I take some organ meat supplements personally. But do I need them? I mean, we haven't proved I need those extra things personally. And so, I do salt. I do a lot of Malden Redmonds. I do Baja Gold, Himalayan. I mean, salt. I think is crazy great. Laura, how can I get Carnivore and stay in it? The cravings around my period are hard. You just have to build the mindset, join the communities, Kiltz Mighty Tribe, join us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and more. And watch Tom at Tom. What's your handle, Tom?
Frugal Prepper, FRUGAL Prepper.
Awesome.
Tom's a prepper. I just want to answer. Can we answer this last question? I believe yes, because I believe all autoimmune issues. So Deanna asked, does carnivore help with lupus? Lupus is autoimmune, and I think all autoimmune issues greatly benefit from carnivore.
They're immunologic. There is no such thing as an autoimmune disease, in my opinion. Remember, your body is not purposely attacking itself. It's attacking the inflammatory particles that come in from plants, microbes, and other organisms that were highly allergic to the glycocalyx. And so ultimately, we have immunologic disorders, not autoimmune disorders. And glucose is a glycosylating agent, which is part of the post-translational modification of proteins. And Coach Lisa says, lupus, it's liver. I agree. It's liver, but it's also simply antigenic components, just like goitrogens. If you look up goitrogens, understand that plants are actually predators and you are the prey.
You're the prey. Dr. Kiltz, people are asking questions about meetups. So I just want to, before we're done, I know we're at over an hour. We're not going to take any more questions at the moment.
We can take a few more questions.
We can take a few more questions. Okay, cool.
Tom, you got a few more minutes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Coach Lisa, Tom, how's your liver?
I've never had any liver problems. I don't know other than like standard blood work. I don't know that they've ever checked it, but
type 2 diabetes is a liver problem.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as like fatty liver, I'm sure I had fatty liver, but you know, when I was nearly 500 pounds, I don't think I do today. When they took my gallbladder out, I hadn't eaten for 3 or 4 days before that from the gallstones. And they said that the surgeon said my liver didn't look fatty and it looked pretty healthy. So that was 20 years ago.
And so the job of the liver is twofold. One is to make fat, and two is to detoxify the plant and microbial toxins, which ultimately leads to hypertension, diabetes, pain syndromes, brain fog, eye problems. And I think that's ultimately the liver is overtaxed on a plant protein, low fat diet and eating 3 to 6 meals a day. That's one of our biggest problems.
Heidi Lynn would like to know what books you have, if I can put them in the chat. I know one is The Most Delicious Poison by Noah Whiteman, and the other one's Plants That Kill, but I don't know the author.
This is Elizabeth Dawsey. These are on my website, but put them all on. But if you go to my website and go to the backs of my books, and we got to make sure, Alia, that we keep up the book list. That's really important. But
okay,
again, I've got hundreds of books everywhere, thousands of books everywhere. The more we read, the more we're learning. That's so important. Tom, do you have any particular favorite books that you think are important for?
I'd say the one that got me started was Lies My Doctor Told Me by Dr. Ken Berry. That really helped me understand the system and what's going on. Yeah. I've also read Dr. Fung's book. It was something like there was one for diabetes and one for obesity.
Obesity Code.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, obesity is not a disease. Not one bit. The cause of disease is secondary to a plant protein, low fat diet. And ultimately we're being poisoned, and that's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Occam's razor. Simple answer is the one. That's my answer for that one.
I love that. Love that. Okay, so I just want to show really quick let's see here, share screen. Here's Kiltz's Carnivore events. So Austin is not sold out and Yuma, Tennessee is not sold out. So you can get your tickets. You just click on this button and get your tickets. I want to say a little thing about Austin. We're going to have some cool, so there's guests that they have that are speaking, but I also want to say that Jake Thomas is going to be there. He's not on the speakers list, but he's awesome. He's going to be there. Also, the Carnivore lawyer is going to be there, and he works with, and his manager is going to be there, and they work with RFK Jr. So if you're interested in talking to those people, I would say make sure to get your butts to Austin. It's going to be great. Oh, I'm trying to click the wrong thing. I'm trying to click on the screen, but I need to click something over here. So the speakers so far for Austin are Dr. Kiltz, of course. Dr. Kiltz, here we go. Carrie, Adam, Lauren Knight Hughes, Nia Nova, she's awesome. This is Pastor Jimmy and his wife Annette, and this is the Texas Boys, even though that's his wife and she's a girl. They have like 10 kids or something. They have a ton of kids. So, but it's a whole family of carnivores. Come on over, get your tickets and hang with us, and then come to Healing Humanity. I want to say in Yuma, I got word that Ken Berry is 80% confirmed, yes, that he will be there in Yuma. They have to check one more thing, but he is most likely going to be in Yuma. So I would say
you just got to show up.
You just got to
show up. And it's critical for our health and wellness. Like Tom's out there sharing this story. You got to be there. We're all sharing the story. And if you don't help, I mean, I'm not going to show up if you're not going to show up.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say, someone said they can't get the tickets to the Tennessee one. I will get that fixed today. Deanna, I will get it fixed right away. Deanna, if you email me, I will send you the link. It's supposed to be connected here.
And we're working on our non-stevia electrolyte mix. We're getting that out there. And we got our organ meat supplements. Again, you can get the Primal Burger, which has the organ meats and liver in the Bighorn Mountain meats. So I'm excited about that. I got a freezer full of all this stuff. But we're going to start giving away some Bighorn Mountain
I've seen it.
meat.
Giveaway tool. Here we go, everybody. Here's who's gonna win today. Let's see. Who's the lucky winner? Yeah, Ben Butler. Yay! Congratulations, Ben Butler. Please email me, Alia at drkiltz.com, all spelled out. Email me and I will get you your gift away. Congratulations.
And baby Lorenzo or Juan or Guillermo
Juan David.
Well, we don't have a name yet. I haven't heard the name.
Put them in the hat and just pick
baby boy Kiltzy, we'll call him now. Grandbaby Kiltzy boy is gonna get his name shortly. Well, I'm voting for Lorenzo, Enzo personally. But whatever they name it, him, rockstar. Rockstar superstar.
Superstars. We can't say rockstar anymore.
I get in trouble with Sarah.
Oh, are we allowed to see photos? No, not really. It's not your choice to show the photos. It's your daughter's choice.
Personally, it's not my decision. But we have to respect Lorenzo's right to decide when. Enzo.
I like Enzo. I had a friend named Enzo. Is Luca Italian? Is Luca Italian?
Yep, Luca's from Italy. Pilar's half Italian. I'm 3/4 Italian. Actually, probably more than that, but
there you go. Oh, I wanted to say something. Someone mentioned something about you fixing cars, and I wanted to say you literally look like you could have been on the original cast of Grease.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've done plumbing, electrical, buildings, destruction, roofs. I mean, ultimately, we're born to do everything and anything.
We are.
We're jacks of all trades, right?
Yes, and we can figure out anything. All right. Well, it's 1:09, an hour and 9 minutes.
Tom, any last comments for us?
No, I just say if you're sick and you need to heal your body, like you need to look into a carnivore keto, a clean keto diet, and start eating the right foods and stop eating the wrong stuff, and your body has an incredible ability to recover and heal.
We want to invite everyone in the keto world, and we're gonna have a special section for the carnivore crazies. And it's crazy. And we got our good friend Anthony Chafee, Ken Berry. The numbers and people that are joining the carnivore lifestyle are crazy. And Tom, I think Ali and I are going to join you in the shooting range and also on the road.
Oh my God, I'm totally coming to Tennessee then. Oh my God, Tom, please come.
I'll get out the stuff that requires tax stamps if you want to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. Adios, amigos and amigas.
Okay.
A todos.
Bye.